There was one time before where I spoke last in a group of people, and it was my wedding. And at that particular speaking event, I had to follow my father-in-law, who's a good speaker, who my sister-in-law, who works in New York at a bank and is a very good speaker, my brother, who aced his GMAT and went to a very good MBA, fantastic speaker. And then I had to follow my wife as well, who is a doctor, and no one realized quite how good a speaker she was, and she had the entire room in hysterics. And I had to stand up at the end and say, I have to follow that? How do I do that? Well, I think I'm the last speaker today, and I've got to follow a lot of good speakers here. My name is Ted Mercer. I'm the VP Sales at Kira Talent, and we help higher education institutes select more employable cohorts. A quick question as I start. Has everyone here applied for a job at some point in their career? I'm going to assume yes. So I'd like you to think about that process that you went through, the process of applying for the job and so forth. Now hold that thought for a minute, and I'm going to come back to that. A number of surveys recently report that students are looking at higher education to get a better job, improve their employability. In fact, 88% of freshmen cite the top reason they attend college is to get a good job. Makes you wonder what the other 12% are going to university for, but let's assume they're going for the noble reason just to learn, which is also wonderful. 88% of admissions directors agree that students care about employability. 82% of admissions directors agree that their institutions are increasing their attention on helping students get a job. 96% of chief academic officers think that their institution is effective at preparing their students for work. However, only 14% of Americans think that the schools are doing a good job of preparing students for the workplace. And only 11% of business leaders agree that students are well prepared for the workplace. That's a massive gap. That's a problem. So we built Kira to help schools better assess applicants because we believe students are more than just their grades. They're more than just their personal statement. That's why our focus at Kira is helping schools identify students who would not only be successful in the classroom, but also successful in the workplace. So how do employers define quality of student? The overriding studies say that the top 4 things they care about are communication skills. So oral communication, listening skills, written communication, and presentation skills. Those 4 things are what correlate to good people in the workplace, not their SAT score or their personal statement. So what higher ed institute is actually assessing these qualities as part of their admissions process? We would argue that very few, because unless the admissions departments are looking at interviewing every single candidate using a competency-based assessment and evaluation rubric to remove interview bias, you simply cannot test for communication skills. I come to the example before. Everyone, 20,000 Harvard graduates apply, or Harvard applicants have 4.0 GPA and a string instrument. Well, how do you see beyond that? Let's take a look at the desired skills that different industries look for across consulting, finance, healthcare, and technology, and products and services. The overriding thing that people look for are communication skills because they are highly correlated to employability. Standardized tests struggle to show that the person and the fit at that school. So if we know that employers care about the quality of the students, their competencies are far more than a school's admission standards. Even a school's reputation is far less important to an employer than the quality of the student. So admissions interviews are at least twice as predictive as the GMAT for employability, according to a recent study by the Rotman School of Management. And remember the earlier stats. Employability is what students and businesses and Americans care about. But what admissions team has the time to interview every applicant? Very few. So how do you scale the in-person assessments? With Kira, schools can interview every applicant, they can eliminate application fraud, and they can reduce interview bias. There's simply no better way to assess the communication skills of incoming students, of applicants, than Kira. You cannot effectively test for communication skills, those oral, written, presentation, and listening skills through test scores and written essays alone. We're not saying don't look at the test scores, but you need to look further than that. So, Kira gives schools the way to add interactive timed video and written questions into an online admissions application. Testing for communication skills gets a school higher employment rates for graduates, a better reputation for the school, and often more applicants, because as the word spreads on how a school is innovating, especially among the millennials who our students are today, they want to be part of that. Our proprietary Competencies dictionary was developed with the help of admissions teams, Fortune 500 employers, and behavioral psychologists. Our team of admissions consultants helps admissions teams select the competencies that matter most in their program and build custom interactive assessments that help identify applicants who are the right fit for the program. In Kira, applicants respond to questions on their own schedule with a very tight time limit, giving the school an authentic look at the applicant's verbal and written communication skills. It's both effective and efficient. And it works, whether it's a nursing program, an MBA program, or an engineering program. Competency assessments work, and no other platform allows you to record the video questions and have applicants respond to both timed and written essay questions. So, we'll come back to that question. How many of you have applied for a job before? Did any of you get that job without an interview? We're Kira Talent, and we are here to help people get better, more employable classrooms. Thank you.